Seems like we were just starting training camp, but here we are in October, and off we go on EA Sports. And we will not see a run back on the opening kickoff. This will be a touchback. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. First carry now for Jaleel McLaughlin. And he'll lose yardage here. Going down back at the 28. Call it officially a loss of 2 on the first play from scrimmage. 2nd down.
Sometimes you get all those big guys down there in one spot and there's just nowhere to go. And in this case, the defensive tackle used his strength and swallowed him up.
On the handoff, McLaughlin. Yeah, boy, this defense came to play. They're going to bottle him up behind the line again. 3rd and 15 coming up after that loss of 2.
You can bet they're not going to go away from the running game anytime soon, but this is obviously not a good start. 2 carries, 2 runs, both stopped for a loss.
And I don't think this is the script they had in mind for their opening drive. This is 3rd and long. Oh, his first throw of the game going to be intercepted. Picked off by Eric Stokes. And the return comes to a halt right at the 44-yard line. Well, that is a quick lesson on how difficult this defense is to throw against. An interception on their initial drive of the ball game.
Now we know why their offensive staff spent the entire week awake trying to prepare for this one, because you can't totally shy away from throwing the football. But at the same time, you're looking at them and going, where are the weaknesses? How are we going to move it?
One of the top defenses in the NFL for a reason. We just saw one example right there. Now a 2nd and 10. Here's Tucker, complete on the right side. They'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead. When you look at this Bronco defense, and they played well against the pass, currently ranked 7th in the NFL.
And I'm struggling a little bit trying to really categorize this crew. They're top 10 in the league against the pass, but the bottom half of the league in sacking the quarterback. That doesn't make sense. Imagine if this group ever put pressure on the QB, they'd easily move into the top 5.
He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete.
Oh, that's going to hurt a bit because they needed to come through with a completion there. Now a drive that started with great field position is facing 4th down.
Smith will stay out there. The offense is going to go here on 4th down. They snap it to Smith. Rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. And they finally put an end to this return, but not before he's all the way down to the 37. It's almost like you can see the look of frustration on his face. 4 interceptions last week. We talked about it all week. What did he do wrong? And another one here in the first half.
And you can understand the frustration. You actually feel his pain a little bit. But the worst thing he can do is what you're seeing right now, showing the other team that he's frustrated. All they're going to do is double their efforts to make him even more frustrated. He's got to gather himself, compose himself, and keep fighting.
Well, he talked a lot about erasing that loss last week, getting back in the win column. We'll see how he responds. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. The success there, Charles, coming on the outside of the field of the ground game. Curious to see if that continues as we progress.
Yeah, we often talk about a variety in play calling and usually between run and pass. But in this case, with strictly the run game, you can be creative there as well. Run it inside, run it outside, keep the defense off balance.
They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a 1st down. The Broncos at 3-1 here through their first 4 games. And they come in off a disappointment last time out. That put an end to their modest 3-game win streak.
And it always hurts when you lose a tight game, as they did a week ago. I think each player starts thinking to himself, if I could have played better one play here, one play there, maybe it could have changed this team's fortunes. But it absolutely illustrates how important it is to play a complete game if you want to win in the NFL.
Nix to the air. Flushed out right. And he's just going to get rid of this thing. To no one here. He throws it away. And now it's 3rd.
And a smart play there. He's probably saying, I wish I would have done that on the last drive instead of throwing the interception.
Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down.
Here we go, set.
To throw, here's Nix. And this is caught for a Bronco touchdown. Evan Ingram, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Broncos use the early turnover to get on the board first here in this one. Lutz good on the extra point, and that makes the score 7-0. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And no chance to see a return on the dynamic kickoff. They'll move this out to the 30-yard line. The offense for Las Vegas about set to begin the drive. They threw an interception the first time they had the football, wound up leading to a touchdown the other way. How do you approach drive number 2?
Going back to your game plan coming in, everyone has matchups that they like better than others, where they think they have an advantage. Dial up some of those plays. Try and go to those spots and get your offense moving.
And they'll give them another shot here on the ground. Call it a gain of 5 there on the run, but they'll remain a yard or 2 short here with 3rd down coming up.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
A couple extra tight ends in the formation here as they line up 3rd and 2. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And he brings this up to the 46, good enough for the first. It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs. On 1st down, they'll go to the ground attack. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. They'll have to deal with a 2nd and 14 now after the loss. Powerful running. And he's got it across midfield and into Denver territory.
You've got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a 2nd and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to 3rd and manageable with that run.
On 3rd down, they're going to run for it here. And they'll bring him down 1 yard shy after a pickup of 4.
You know, we might start getting some props here in the booth. You know, that one that says the D and then the fence that you put up next to it. How about that? They brought out the jumbo package and still couldn't move them off the line of scrimmage enough to pick up that 1st down.
Impressive. They were ready defensively for that jumbo set. Here we go on 4th down. And he is not going anywhere. They stop him for no gain. He needed 2. He barely got back to the line of scrimmage. And the Broncos will take over on downs. Denver offense at the line, ready to go. They've got a 7-0 lead in the football as well as they start out 1st and 10. He's got Turner. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. A good pickup there, 21 yards.
That's a nice throw there, and he's obviously feeling pretty good because, remember, he had a touchdown pass on the last drive, and here he comes out throwing again, and they wind up getting good yardage and a 1st down right out of the gate.
Throwing Nix. And that one is incomplete. And it also concludes quarter number 1. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. Here's 2nd and 10. The give is to McLaughlin. And a 5-yard gain as he's down inside the 30 to the 28-yard line.
That 2nd down play call was not to pick up the 1st down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable 3rd down because they had incompletion on 1st down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
From the gun on 3rd down, it's Nix. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he will have the Broncos 1st down. They needed 4. He doubled that. He wound up getting 8.
Would it be safe to say that as precise as routes are supposed to be run in the NFL, maybe they're not quite as precise in college ball?
That's accurate, yeah.
And I think we saw a college route in the NFL there. Just find the soft spot, find the dead zone, and find the first down. And that's what he just did.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
A carry from McLaughlin. And a couple of yards as they move it from the 21 to the 19.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
Now it's Nix. That's into the hands of McLaughlin. And he is going to be stopped at the 12, short of the first down. And no signs of the field goal unit. They're going for it on 4th down.
70 Lions.
They'll go for it. Here's Nix. He's got his target. That's complete. And the Broncos are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points. McLaughlin. No signal, and now they say he did not get in. He is stonewalled at the 1. Another shot from the 1 on 2nd and goal. And now an audible here into something else. Again, it's McLaughlin. And he will take it in for a Bronco touchdown. Jaleel McLaughlin. His 2nd rushing touchdown on the year. And the Broncos go up by 2 touchdowns. Lutz with the extra point. And it's now 14-0. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And no run back forthcoming, so this will come out to the 30. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried.
And that's caught inside the 30. And all the way down to the 22-yard line. It's a big play there for Vegas. 48 yards.
And this is how you answer a touchdown the other end. You come out throwing to start your own drive. And not just throwing, but pushing it down the field. And they come up with a big play as they try to answer back with a score of their own.
Off of play action. Here's Smith. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
You can tell they wanted to get that ball downfield. They had nothing working in the secondary, so he dropped it off to the running back. That one ended up incomplete.
Smith, an incomplete pass on 1st down. Now it's 2nd and 10. On 2nd down, they'll run it here. And he'll be taken down near the 20 at the 21. They do get a yard there, but only a yard. Leaves them with 3rd and 9 looming. But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
On 3rd down, they're going to go with the option. 2 minutes to play, first half. It's 14-0. The offense stays put. They failed twice already in this first half, but they're going to go a 3rd time here on 4th down. Here we go on 4th. Smith. That's caught by Tucker. And he is in. Touchdown, Raiders. Trey Tucker. A 16-yard touchdown. And the Raiders' decision to go for it pays off with 6 points. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that'll make our score 14-7. This game back within a touchdown now as the kickoff's away. And we will not have a return. They'll bring this to the 30. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
And he's got his man in stride, complete.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
And they're not going to go quietly into this halftime break. They know they're in for a fight, so they're trying to make every possession count. They took the big shot there, but it winds up incomplete.
And no move to get the offense off the field. They're going on 4th and 5. And they'll send the tight end in motion here. They're going. It's Nix. Well, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Inside the 10. And he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Raider defense delivers a score. Carlson on for the PAT. And we've got a good one brewing. We're all knotted up at 14. This one tied at 14 now as he sends this one away. And not willing to risk a return. This ball's going to come out to the 30-yard line. Denver offense at the line, ready to go. As they will take over here with a little more than 30 seconds remaining. Throwing after the interception. Nix. And the Raiders have got him. Max Crosby blowing up the play and getting the sack. Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts as they stop it with 28 seconds to go in the first half of play. To throw is Nix. To the right side and intercepted. Lonnie Johnson picks it. And he'll take this into the end zone. Now hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about. Carlson now to add the extra point. It's up and good, and that'll make the score 21-14. So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. And that'll be a little too hot to handle as it will skip through the end zone for a touchback here. Final 17 seconds of the half here as they come up to the line, 1st and 10. They'll indeed try to run it out as they start on the ground. And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. Now the Broncos going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 12 seconds to go in this first half. They'll keep it on the ground again here. And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. And now they'll take a timeout defensively. After the second down play, they burn the timeout, making him sweat out the final few ticks here in the second quarter. So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. Here's Nix. Escaping the pressure right. On the run, he'll let this go deep right side. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Eric Stokes. And the Raiders are going to get the football back as time will run out in this 3rd quarter of play. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the 3rd quarter. The Raiders with the lead already, and they will get the football here as the second half is now underway. And no return forthcoming. It'll be a touchback, and the 3rd quarter will start from the 30. The Las Vegas offense ready to start this next drive.
Here we go.
They'll start this drive out on the ground. And tough going there as he'll only get it up to about the 31. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
And they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin too.
And he'll be tackled at about the 35. But now he appears to be in some pain. We'll step aside and get a report when we come back to Denver. They'll come up facing 3rd and 5.
Check 58.
First carry for Raheem Mostert. And he'll be stopped well short. Only 2 yards there. 4th and 3. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
Well, the offense is not leaving the field. They're going to stay out and go for it on 4th and 3.
Sunday.
They'll try and run for it. And he's going to have a first down as he's brought down at the 44-yard line. Well, we kind of looked at each other as they decided to go for it, but in the end, great execution, a 6-yard gain, and it all works out. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. And they'll keep leaning on the running game. Back to the ground. And a lane slowly materializing there as he'll get maybe a yard up to the 45.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. Was that 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive. And like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive. Smith now to throw. Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes inbounds. And that's good for a gain of 6, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Now that's going to be a tough one to explain when they get together and watch the game film, isn't it? I mean, they had the right call, had the out route. He's got to know where the first down sticks are, yet he steps out of bounds that close. Not their best play.
Check 58.
On 4th down, they'll try and run for it. And he is not going anywhere. They stop him for no gain. He needed 2, but he doesn't come anywhere close. And this defense is going to get the football back near midfield, right at the 48. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, you had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. They'll send a receiver in motion left. Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. He finds his man, complete. That's McLaughlin. And that'll be good for 8 yards to the 45. And at his size, he's a smaller back. You can get him to football. He can kind of get lost, make someone miss. It's good for him.
Yeah, it's great for him. I like what you said there. Sometimes he gets lost in the traffic a little bit, but get him out in the open field into some space. That plays to his strengths the best and keeps him out of it where all the big boys are, you know, make someone miss in the open field.
A Bronco first down there, 12 yards on the play. Operating from the gun, Nix completes it to Evan Ingram, and he is into the end zone for a Denver touchdown. Evan Ingram with his 2nd touchdown of the game, number 7 on the year. And the Broncos are an extra point away from drawing level. Lutz good on the extra point, and we are tied at 21. So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. And he can't field it cleanly. It's loose. And this will get out of bounds. No worries there, though. That still goes as a touchback. The offense for Las Vegas about set to begin the drive. And their lead has evaporated in this 3rd quarter. It's tied once more as they begin with a 1st and 10. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Nothing open downfield, and he had to get that one out in a hurry because he just knew he was about to take a big shot. Probably couldn't get his legs into the throw. Became an all-arm throw, trying to check it down to his running back. Incomplete.
And he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5.
I really like the vision he displayed on that play because he saw there wasn't a lane to completely break off a huge gain. So he found where there was the most space and got what he could. A nice, dirty run that's a positive play for the offense.
And they'll give him another shot here on the ground. And he is going to lose yardage here. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
They have 3 tight ends in that formation. That's almost a universal sign that they're planning to run the football. But how about the defense there? They met force with force and caused a stack up behind the line of scrimmage and threw him for a loss.
On 4th down, Smith. Open man is Tucker. And he is going to get the first down as he covers up after a pretty good shot there.
We always hear about guys wanting to make plays that quiet a crowd.
Yeah.
After that one.
Here in the 3rd quarter, they were hoping to get the stop, get the football back. Not the case.
What a completion on a 4th down play.
49 yards rushing for him now to this point.
If you're in the offensive huddle, you're smiling after that play because you've certainly got them guessing now. 2nd and short, could they just hand it off for another big gain? Or did they take advantage of this spot to take a big shot downfield?
And they'll keep leaning on the running game. Back to the ground. And he's able to get this to the 40-yard line before he's out of bounds. We often give credit to the O-line there. 2 tight end formation. Those tight ends block pretty well also.
Yeah, and that's one of the most dynamic positions in football now. The tight ends who can block at the line of scrimmage at the point of attack, and they can also get downfield and catch the football.
Welcome back now to Denver. All even as we get ready to start the 4th. On 1st and 10, it's Mostert. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. Second down.
Not a huge carry there on first down, but not all of them will be. But still, all in all, a positive play for the offense. It's all about picking up at least a few to set up what you're going to do here on second down.
Second down, here's Mostert again. Yeah, maybe a little over pursuit there as he's able to take this down to the 25-yard line. Give them 12 yards that time and a Las Vegas first. From the gun, they'll try to run it. What a great effort there. He's going to get this inside the 15, and they'll spot it at the 13-yard line. Nice run. It's a pickup of 12. Second play in a row with a 12-yard gain. From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10. They'll send a receiver in motion to the left. Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. And this time they were waiting for him as he'll be knocked down before he can get back to the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. Smith here, an audible at the line.
Hey, trio left. 53.
Now Gino. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Raider touchdown. Brock Bowers, a 14-yard touchdown. And the Raiders answer back with a touchdown of their own to break our tie and take the lead here in the 4th. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And they will take a 7-point lead. On is the Raider kickoff unit now as they will send this one away. I couldn't take the chance. This will be returned from the goal line. And he'll get it up across the 20 to the 21-yard line. Denver offense at the line, ready to go. And now, after the touchdown a moment ago, they work from behind in a 7-point game in this 4th quarter. Plenty of time on the clock. They'll start on the ground here on first down. They'll get this to the 24, and it's 2nd down.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
Let's go now.
And they'll send the tight end in motion. They'll go play action with Nix. And he finds a man with a crossing route. And he'll be forced out of bounds all the way down at the 25-yard line. The rookie from Oregon on target with that one. And leads to a first down.
I can still hear it reverberate through this thick skull of mine. Crossing routes versus man-to-man coverage, it's a bad matchup for the defense. Those tend to work very well as they run away from a defender.
On first down, he'll drop to throw. That's complete to Turner. It's going to be a nice pickup, but he also takes a pretty good lick at the end of that one.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Turner is there for another one. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another first down.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down, executed it to perfection. They'll run. It's McLaughlin. And he is into the end zone for a Denver touchdown. Jaleel McLaughlin with his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Broncos are an extra point away from tying this game here in the final minutes. Don't forget the extra point. It's up and good. And we are tied here in the 4th quarter. Now this one setting up for a great finish. All tied in the 4th as the kick's away. And no run back here. That's going to be a touchback, and we'll bring it out to the 30-yard line. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. They no longer have the lead after that last touchdown, all tied up in the fourth quarter, and a chance for this offense to mount a potential game-winning drive right here. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. Now a handoff as they run left side. And able to stay on his feet past the 30 to about the 33-yard line. And they'll give him another shot here on the ground. And he'll get this only to about the 38 as they stop him a few yards shy of the line to gain. Another big play in a game that's had plenty of them. 4th and 2. They'll try and run for it. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first.
Add that one to the good run tally right there. He's been strong throughout this game, and there's no reason to suggest he's going to slow down in the fourth quarter at all. And that's exactly what they need him to do. Keep churning out first downs.
Plenty of time. All 3 timeouts still remain. Here's 1st and 10 now. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down.
Short gain last 2 plays. Who do you think's excited about that?
Absolutely. This defense, they're saying go right ahead with those. And now the ball's out. Fumble near midfield. But it looks like one of the DBs has it. And they take possession 2 yards away from midfield at the 48-yard line. He has been a workhorse for them in this game, and ball security hasn't been an issue until that point.
Yeah, and let's face it, when he's going to carry the ball that many times, he becomes more and more of a target for the defense, knowing that he's going to be the primary guy. They'll just send more and more players towards him, trying to make sure they knock the ball free.
Over the middle, complete. It's turned.
It drives some people crazy to see those short throws underneath. They've got to find a way to gash the defense downfield.
Here comes 2nd down and 5. Looking to throw. Nix. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Franklin. Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts as they stop it with 28 seconds to go in this football game.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a first down.
The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts. And as the 2 teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. They'll come up now. This is 2nd and long. Here's McLaughlin. And his rough afternoon continues. He's going nowhere again. Now the Raiders going to go ahead and use the 2nd of their timeouts. And as the 2 teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. A big play looming on 3rd down. Now they'll change things up. From the gun on 3rd down. Nix. Oh, look at this. It's intercepted. And the Raiders are going to take over at their own 30-yard line. And you have to wonder, Charles, a game like this, 5 interceptions, what does this do to the psyche of a young quarterback?
Well, based on the fact that he's still out there and he threw a 5th interception, I'm wondering if his head coach believes that he's really strong mentally and wants him to play through it. Because otherwise, you need to get him out and fight another day because this could leave lasting damage if he keeps throwing interceptions.
This is 1st and 10.
Hey, here we go, hey. Alert, alert. Hey, alert, alert. Alert, alert. Hey, we go,
Smith's going to throw it. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Work with me, partner. Take a deep breath, because that's what they're doing down the field now. That incompletion allowed them to exhale a little bit. Get in the huddle, kind of scan the crowd, see if any celebrities are here. Relax a little bit as they start this big drive.
Here's 2nd down.
what's up? Alert, alert. Strike. 13 in. What's up?
Here's Smith. And that will be incomplete. 4 ticks left here on the clock.
Incomplete pass there is probably the best scenario going, because if he catches the football, clock's probably going to run out in that situation.
Well, this crowd is making an impact right now. 3rd and 10.
Hey, we go. Hold on. Check 59. Cover. What's up?
Smith to throw. He's going to loft one deep over the middle. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
It's a little teaching moment here. Overtime rules. Remind us how this goes, partner.
Okay, so in the past, we had sudden death. First team to score wins, but no longer. Now, if the team receives the ball, scores a touchdown, they win the game. If they kick a field goal, though, or don't score, the other team gets a possession. And after both teams get a possession, then we're into sudden death. First team to score wins the game.
So it's the Broncos who are going to get the first shot at things. They'll have it here as we start in overtime. And no chance to see a return on the dynamic kickoff. They'll move this out to the 30-yard line. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. All set up for them right now, Charles. Opening possession of overtime. They've got the football. They also obviously have this home crowd behind them in a big way.
They give that extra energy from them, but they've got to be careful not to let that adrenaline get away from them and play too fast or create errors of their own making. Use that energy, embrace it, but make sure they channel it the right way. They've got a chance to go downfield, score a touchdown, and end this game.
Working out of the gun is Nix. Oh, and it's intercepted. And they're going to be set up in the red zone at the 15. What a gigantic interception here in the first drive of overtime. And now, Charles, with where they're at on the field, I mean, they're already in field goal range to win this thing. And
the head coach is just talking to the special teams coordinator right now and saying, okay, where does he want the ball positioned? Because that's all you're going to do on offense. Move it to that spot. Make sure you take care of the football, and probably third down, kick the field goal, and try and win this game.
And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. That time, the right guard sending him backwards.
And so many different types of guys rotate in on the defensive line now, depending on situations. You can get the bulky guy, the fast guy. No matter what, though, you can't hold them.
They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty.
Alert. Here we go.
First throw here in overtime for Smith. And just not enough on the throw there. Down around his feet and incomplete. He released that awkwardly. It almost looked like a pitcher who gripped his fastball a little too hard and let it go late, and it bounced in front of the plate.
Yeah, one of those fastballs that ends up at 57 feet, not 60 feet, 6 inches. Just a little short with the arm, which is unusual because we saw him in warm-ups. He's got a big, strong arm when he delivers it with confidence.
And this will be caught. It's a touchdown. And absolute stunned silence here as they have come in and stolen this one in overtime. As the fans exit back out through the turnstiles, not happy looks on their faces. Feel like they probably let this one slip away at home in overtime.
I would agree with that, and their unhappiness hurts the guys at the concession stands on the way out, right? Not stopping to buy something for the